Should eat a proper breakfast instead of this.
Hello everyone, welcome to Adventures Wanted. This is the 93rd, yes, 93rd?
Yeah, sounds about right.
Time!
Of the show. Just a reminder that this performance, like all of our performances, is a relaxed one. That means there's a relaxed attitude to sound and movement from the audience, for the benefit of people who would struggle to stay still or silent. Thanks, Billy, if you would. There will be no sudden loud noises. This is as dark as it will get. We will obviously aim to have the lights on everyone throughout. We're just experiencing some glitches with the hotel's lighting system. But if that happens again, then it will get fixed within 10 seconds and we'll be back up to this. It doesn't look like anyone needs any hearing aid headsets, but if you did, my name's Chloe. You just ask me for that. I'll be over there. Just give me a wave if you need anything. But in the meantime, I will hand you over to our GM for the hour, Alex.
Hello!
Round of applause.
Welcome, thank you very much. Yes, I'm Alex and I will be your games master for this morning. What is this? What's going on? Well, welcome. This is Adventurers Wanted. To those of you who don't know, or to whom this might be new, we are a tabletop role-playing game. What that means is that each person here around the table is playing their own unique character. I, as the games master, will play the rest of the world. I will describe places, people, and things that they encounter. I'll tell them things that happen, things that are occurring in the world around them, and they will explain to me things that they would like to do. Sometimes I will ask them to roll dice, and their success or failure in the dice rolling will determine whether they succeed gloriously or fail hilariously at what they are trying to achieve. It helps move the story along. The story so far. Our characters are all crew members aboard a military naval research vessel known as the Spirit of the Horizon. On a recent mission, it was unexpectedly and magically teleported to a completely new and unknown world. Now the crew have to figure out how to get home, whether that be by fighting monsters, exploring islands, finding allies, or by some other means as yet unknown to them. Most recently, a small party of the crew have been tasked with a mission. The queens of an island known as the Troquin Caldera, whom they have made friends with, have asked the Spirit of the Horizon and its people to make their way to an island nearby where they are hoping to expand and grow their civilization. They have sent parties out here before and have heard no noise or no news of their success or failure. They are worried and concerned for the loss of their life. The ship made its way across and docked just off the coast, dropped anchor, and a small jolly boat was sent across with a party of 4, including a very scared NPC.
Who will not die? Who will not die?
They made their way onto the beachhead and into the forest, and they came across a pathway that they followed ended at the edge of a short cliff, and in front of them they saw a wide plain filled with all kinds of dinosaurs. Above their head flew in a giant dragon, swooped down, picked up an entire triceratops, and flew off into the distance, disappearing into the skyline. At that point, or shortly thereafter, behind them appeared a strange newcomer, a man by the name of, who calls himself the Warden of the Lost Isle, an Eriag, a hairy, tall, but kindly male humanoid. The party engaged in a dialogue with him, and he made it clear that he considers the dinosaurs and the creatures on this island to be his friends and his companions, and he will do almost anything within his power to ensure that they are kept safe and secure and protected. That is where we're going to jump back into the story. Before we do so, I'm just going to go around the table and ask everyone to introduce themselves, the name of their character, what their character is, and a thing about their character that means that other people on board the ship would know who they are. I'm going to start on my left again.
So I'm Isla, I'm playing Noggin, the gnome rogue, ship's dentist, collector of shiny things, and now I really want to make friends with a dinosaur. I want a dinosaur, please.
Too many pets on board the ship already.
Hi, my name's Reese, and I play Galbert Twinkletoes, the halfling monk. I am the quartermaster upon the Spirit of the Horizon, but before that he was the cleaner. Don't ask about the promotional system upon this ship, it's not clear.
It's largely arbitrary. But my name's Ian, and I am playing as Brother Jurgen, who is a cleric of the goddess Lyra, who is the goddess of joy, although she is not on this plane and something else is talking to him. Ooh. He recently has reacquainted himself with his purpose, which is to spread joy, and so after a series of untimely deaths on board ship, has decided to take on the self-appointed role of ship's morale officer. And he is also leading this away party at the moment, and is desperately trying to make sure that all of them get home alive.
That's exactly what we needed, more HR.
Also joining this party, but not sat here, is a young man, about 18. His name is Darren Fodder.
Fodder, it's pronounced Fodder.
Brother Jurgen specifically asked for some extra help on board, and this young man was plucked at random from the deck and sent onto the ship and onto the island with them. He is petrified, although he is holding it together valiantly. But he just vomited a little bit.
In his mouth, though, he kept it down.
So, Brother Jurgen and Noggin, you are stood there having this conversation that's sort of trading backwards and forwards between yourselves and the warden. And you see around your best blue bird buddy this familiar orange hazy glow, and there is that tang of arcana. And then he's gone.
Oh, thank Christ.
And in his place
Lyra, sorry.
stands Noggin. Noggin, you find yourself on the edge of a short cliff.
Noggin was already here.
I'm very confused.
Oh, sorry. Stands Galbert, sorry. Too many gnomes. Too many short things. Stands
Racism.
Galbert. Galbert, you find yourselves on the edge of this short cliff. In front of you stands this hairy, 6.5 foot tall Eriag wearing a sort of belt sash, and he looks startled and surprised at your arrival.
Hello.
Galbert!
I went.
Oh, thank God.
Hello,
We got-
Noggin.
Just going to quickly just give him a wee ruffle of the hair. Oh, it's lovely to see you.
I'm 35 years old. This is starting to get a bit
None of that now,
embarrassing.
Galbert, none of that now. I'm so glad that you're here. The bird was starting to hack me off a little bit.
He's
He's a
he
character.
started wearing clothes at least.
No, it was all hanging out.
Oh.
Just to get you up to speed, I don't know what you were doing back on board ship. You seem to be ready for the coming adventure, though. That's quite good.
I'm always ready.
Yes, with dinosaurs, Galbert, hundreds of them.
Yes.
Dinosaurs, there's dinosaurs!
Majestic, wonderful beasts. Look, there they are, my friends and family.
This gentleman here is the warden of the Lost Island, as he introduced himself to us. This apparently is the Lost Island, although we seem to have found it now. But yes, we were just trying to ascertain as to where we're supposed to go next.
Just that was a lot of information for not a lot of amount of time. So dinosaurs,
Yes,
warden,
yes,
Hello.
island,
yes.
understandable. Why are there dinosaurs on the island?
We don't know. There's also a dragon, although he doesn't believe me.
I've not seen any sign of a dragon on this island.
It's really pretty. It's metallic, very shiny. It's got big teeth, very impressive teeth.
Well, okay. So, Jurgen, what's our plan?
Well, I have a sneaking suspicion that he knows more about the missing soldiers than he's letting on. but we're going to have to play along for a little while because, quite frankly, he's a bit mental. So, let's just play nice, see what he can lead us to, and if necessary, rough him up just a little bit. Keep on your guard.
So, good day to you, sir. My name is Galbert Twinkletoes, quartermaster upon the Spirit of the Horizon, and excellent cleaner.
He's very good.
He looks down at you, and he sort of reaches out his furred hand, to shake yours, says,
It's dwarfed. It's absolutely dwarfed in this massive
yeah. Welcome. I believe your friends have introduced me to you. What do you think of my friends?
Well, okay, so what am I seeing right now? Because I'm standing on a cliff and I'm assuming I'm looking at all Jurassic Park style and seeing a bunch of dinosaurs.
That is the long and the short of it. Mostly the short of it, but yeah, that is what you are seeing. You're seeing a wide plain with a small stream river passing through it and in front of you. They've scattered a little bit since these guys arrived, but now they're starting to make their way back down to the waters and sort of munching on the trees of glades and various things. There's a lot of them.
Well, it certainly is breathtaking and hard to explain. So, Jurgen, we're here to find people, right, or something?
That's correct. We're to get you up to speed. We're looking for some missing pathfinders, missing soldiers from the Thunderpants Collective.
Caldera?
Yes.
Caldera.
Now, if we can't find these people, then the Queen potentially might be upset. We must at least try and find what's happened to them. And this gentleman seems to be a denizen of this island. Good friend. This very impressive vista is fascinating, but we do have business here upon the island. We need to find the people that we were looking for. Is there anything you could do to guide us as to where they may have gone? I know you've said that you did not see any of them arrive on the island.
Are there any good hiding places on the island that maybe, you would know about and haven't checked recently that they could be hung up in?
Anything that could give us a lead as to where we should be going.
He looks across at both of you and he says, if they landed at the beach nearby and they made their way into the jungles, well, I assume they would have made their way along their path to this area and, well, they would probably have stopped in this plain. I don't know. Were they armed?
Can I insight check that?
Yeah.
I can't insight check that. That was 6.
You think that he is being completely honest with you.
He seems like a stand-up fellow.
Certainly.
He turns to you and he says, of course, if these people were scared or intimidated by my friends, well, nature is as nature does.
Okay. Can we look around to see if there's any tracks or footprints or any signs of people on the island other than ourselves? Or any signs in this? If you said that it might come here, is there any signs around this area that we might see people?
Roll investigation check for
Okay,
me.
come on, baby. Jurgen needs a new pair of shoes. 7!
The rocky outcrop that you are stood on is mostly rock. If you go back into the forests nearby along the pathway that you followed, you see some footprints. Roll an insight check.
11.
Much better.
19. Sight was all hell.
Both of you recognise that there are 3 sets of footprints that are fresh, and you realise that they are yours. But deep beneath them, maybe hidden here and there under a few leaves, you see tiny suggestions of imprints, as if humanoid feet made their way along this pathway at some point in the distant past, but you can't glean. None of you are rangers, so you
So
can't glean exactly how long
So they've
ago.
come to where we are already.
You get the impression that a small number of people have been where you have stood.
Okay.
Looking out across this wide plain, everybody roll me an insight check.
15.
22.
23.
All
The
of
wisdom, bro.
Yeah, there we go.
All of you look out across this plain and see all of these huge dinosaurs. And despite the friendly, warm tone that your newfound ally has used to describe them, the more you look at them, the more you are overcome by this sense that he may see them as beautiful, friendly buddies, but these are wild, huge, armoured, angry lizards. They are dangerous, they are intimidating, and you get a sinking feeling in the pit of your stomach that if anyone came this way before you and was not incredibly well prepared to deal with a horde of dinosaurs, chances are slim that any of them would have survived.
Maybe I don't want a dinosaur friend anymore.
Galbert, I don't know about you, but I certainly don't want to be lunch today.
Then if we're making our way around the island, then we proceed stealthily.
Good luck with that. I think we
He's
need
not
to
good at
find.
that, is
We
he?
need to find. We need to find these people. What's left of them? I suspect this young chap knows more than he's letting on. Perhaps if we can convince him to take us back to where he lives, we might be able to go further from there.
He overhears your entire conversation,
Oh, great!
and he says,
thought I was speaking quietly.
he's got a very high perception, and he says, I have told you nothing but the truth. As regards where I live, well, he gesticulates around the whole of the area and says, I live here.
So,
I am a man of the wilds. I have no need for your lodgings and constructs. Nature is a bountiful place, and it gives me everything I need.
I think this means he poops in the woods.
have you never pooped in the woods?
I'd like prefer plumbing myself, you know.
It's quite freeing.
He nods. He looks across to Galbert and nods, knowingly, being like, yes, it is very freeing. Your constructs and your constraints are silly. He says,
Hygienic though.
if you would like, I would be more than happy to act as a guide. We can head down towards the plains and I can introduce you firsthand, up close and personal, to my friends and allies.
Please.
Maybe not introduce us one-on-one to your friends, but certainly show us them. That would be nice. As long as we could keep a respectful distance of around 50 to 100 meters, that would be
Brother
excellent.
Jurgen, remember, they're like dogs. They smell fear.
It's not me that I'm worried about, it's Darren. Because even I can smell Darren's fear, Albert.
Yeah. He's just silent, staring. He's not really been listening to anything that's going on in the conversation. He's just you look around now and you see him and he's ash white. And he's standing there carrying his short sword in his hand. He's visibly shaking and he's just staring out across the entire plain like, God, why today?
It's all right, Darren, we'll be fine.
Everybody roll me a perception check, please.
19.
For God's sake,
12.
8. These dice are poorly weighted.
They're very weighted.
20 quid down the drain.
Everybody, apart from Noggin, you are.
I rolled 19.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting there. You don't really hear anything. You are engaged in the conversation in front of you. Brother Jurgen, you are engaged in looking after the well-being of Darren.
It's okay, Darren.
Noggin, you hear a low from the woods behind you, it sounds to you like something moving through the trees and the leaves on the trees with quite a rapid pace. As you are stood on the edge of the cliff, you hear heavy footfalls. And everyone else, you suddenly become aware of this noise, this low susurrus of noise in the trees, and footsteps. Suddenly, in front of you, appears a large dinosaur. It looks a little bit like a kind of cross between a cow and a newt. It's big and docile, and it looks pretty stupid. At the front of its head, it's got quite a small head for the size of its body. It looks pretty dumb. At the front of its head, it's got these big cow-like eyes. And as it comes out of the tree line in quite a lot of speed, you see that the back of its body goes out in this long tail. It's pretty wide and broad. It just looks like a cow, but if you drew a straight line out from the back of its back and the back of its stomach into this big long tail. It's orangey and red and yellow, and it rushes out of it. It's wild-eyed. Roll nature checks.
20, non-natural 20.
It looks scared.
Uh-oh.
Super scared, and it runs, fleeing and as it does so, it comes rushing along, not quite through the pathway, sort of along beside the pathway. And as it does, I just need Galbert, I need you to roll me a dexterity saving throw. It is coming it's coming right for you, man.
Oh no,
Galbert!
Hang on, one moment. Sorry, my dexterity saving throw. That would be a grand total of 13.
It rushes towards you, and just as it does so, you sort of squidge out of the way using your monk skill, and it just keeps running, and it runs out of land. It runs out of cliff, and it sort of scrabbles in the air for a very small moment as it tumbles over and over and over, and it hits the ground below. And it takes some damage.
No!
It hits the ground. It looks stunned, and then it sort of gets up, and you can see it keeps running and limping as it heads away.
Oh, stupid cow.
Everybody,
Sexist.
everybody, roll me perception checks again.
Oh, God. 10.
That is a 20.
Critical success.
Fine.
Jürgen, you are distracted by
the giant
by
cow
the,
thing, yeah.
the giant cow dinosaur that has just plunged over a cliff. Noggin and Galbert,
Yes.
you see and hear behind it just a strange screeching noise, as if it's coming from 1,000 tiny mouths. And you see burst out of the tree line towards you. Dozens and dozens of tiny little dinosaurs.
Oh, no.
Larger than a normal lizard, but some of them are walking on 2 feet, tiny little claws, hundreds of sharp teeth in tiny little mouths. The other thing you notice, which stands out, is that whilst many of them run along the ground, quite a lot of them are flying.
Oh, goodness sake.
Oh.
Roll investigation checks. Apart from Jürgen, you're
Yeah,
still...
too busy looking at the cow.
Non-natural 20.
5.
Noggin, the strange thing about these flying dinosaurs, as you see them come towards you, is they don't have wings. They are flying through the air, but there's no wing flapping. There is just tiny claws and tiny feet as they move through the air above the ground.
Are they also wearing their underwear outside their trousers? I mean,
Warden, is this normal?
The warden turns to you. He looks and he says, "Fly, you fools!"
Can everyone fly here? I jump up.
And he
Try to
jumps
fly.
off the cliff after the dinosaur that fell.
it's time to go.
I'm getting out of here.
Yeah.
Noggin? Using my new monk ability, I run down the edge of the cliff.
I'm gonna grab Darren. I'm gonna say, "Move, beautiful man!" I'm gonna throw him down the cliff, and we're gonna just start pelling. No, again, get moving.
I'm gonna climb down. I have a climby thing.
Cool. Everyone apart from Galbert, I need you to roll dexterity saving throws. I'm going to roll mine for Darren as well.
I'm not very dexterous.
That is a 22?
17.
Yes, 22.
17.
Yep, everyone makes it down the first set of it. You sort of tumble over the cliff, grab hold of a branch. I need you all to roll it one more time.
I climb at the same speed as walking. How large is this cliff?
You think it's probably about 40 or 50 feet. It's not a sheer cliff. It's like a shale fall off.
7.
7.
Hashtag Jurgen can't climb.
Which is exactly the same as what Darren rolled as well.
Darren, my beautiful
So
Darren.
the two of you sort of grabbing hold. He goes to grab you when he loses his footing at the same time that you lose your footing and go to grab him. The two of you tumble a little bit. You fall over and over down this screed slope, and you both hit the ground at the bottom, taking 11 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh, what?
Oh no.
Oh dear.
It's fine. I'll heal us later.
Darren looks rough.
Already?
I go over to Darren and I pour one of my great healing potions down his
Is that even with the extra 15 hit points I gave him?
Your extra 15 hit points doubled his health.
Oh. You don't want Darren to live, do you? Oh.
That's what happens when you pick a random NPC and I have to pull
He's
one out
not
of the book.
random. He's Darren for Darren. He has a life, goddammit.
That was 18 points of healing. to
Yeah,
Darren.
he is back up to where he was before, but he has taken severe internal damage.
Oh, not Darren.
He's emotionally scarred.
Oh.
As you are making your way carefully down the thing, or gently down the thing, moving from rock to rock, making your way through the bits where it's much more sturdy, as you tumble, the flying lizards, the flying dinosaurs appear over the top of the cliff as well. Some of them continue along at the same height that they were before, whilst others rush down the slope, and there's the skittering of stones as they move their way down. They haven't necessarily clocked you at this moment in time. They were pursuing their quarry, their prey. As they hit the thing, they run and they're rushing after this wounded hadrosaur as it sort of hobbles off away from the cliff edge. And you see it engulfed in a swarm of these tiny dinosaurs.
That's a lot of dice.
That's too many
This
dice.
this is bleak.
You talking. I think that's too many dice.
That's 10. Sorry, no, that's 20, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's fine.
There is this horrible bellowing low as it is just engulfed in these movement and you hear and the tearing of flesh. They deal all kinds of damage.
Oh no. Some of those aren't even real dice.
18, 24, 35, 30.
Just a face with crosses for eyes on it.
Yeah. You watch as it is surrounded by these tiny little dinosaurs, and they swarm around it, nipping and grabbing and biting. And the next time you see them, the swarm parts slightly,
And it's just a skeleton.
and it's mostly skeleton. There's bits of internal organ. The face, the tongue lolls out of like half of a skull. And it is very, very dead, as it is eviscerated by this swarm of thousands of tiny mouths. At this point, you see some of the ones flying up above start to
Hide.
sniff the air, and the swarm starts to move, and you see them make a beeline towards Brother Jurgen.
Oh. Right. Okay. I cast Shield of Faith on myself instantaneously. As soon as I see that swarm coming, I'm like, no, it's fine. Shield of Faith on myself straight away.
Yep.
Okay. That puts me up a little bit. Let's see if we can take these buggers on. Okay. Okay.
What is your dexterity score?
My dex is 11.
Galbert?
18.
Oh, I'm also 18.
Between the two of you, decide who's going to go first.
Do you want to roll off?
14.
You go first.
I go first.
Please kill them before they get to me. And Darren. My poor Darren.
And he has a 14 as well, so that's good. That's good to know. What did they have?
Oh no.
They have a dexterity of 20.
Oh,
no.
Crap.
They are going to spend their entire turn, though, however, moving towards you.
Right, okay.
It's not the full swarm at the moment. It's maybe a third of the swarm. Some of them skitter along the floor. But the rest of them are sort of just like moving. It's really odd because they're not particularly smart, but as they fly through the air, you can see that their feet sort of paddle, like they think they're running.
Okay.
But they just hover along as they come towards you. You guys are gonna get a turn before they reach you. So you have a turn to attack.
Okay.
Great.
Go for it.
So I'm gonna hide behind. I'm assuming there's rocks around.
Yeah, there are a
Bottom
few
of the
small
cliff.
rocks around. Some larger boulders that have tumbled down the cliffside. You can hide. Yes.
Hide behind one of those. Ready my crossbow and fire at one of the flying things.
Yeah, cool. You're gonna fly. You're gonna fire. I mean, aiming at one of them is quite difficult the way they move around. But if you fire into the swarm, you are pretty certain you're gonna hit at least one of them.
Okay.
Like it's gonna go through. They're probably about this big. Probably about 6 inches tall, and very tiny. But it's the sheer number of them that is what fills you with the pant-wetting dread. Yeah, make your attack roll, please.
Are you sure you wanted one of these? Just the one, though.
Not just the one. What?
Just. Never mind, make your attack.
Yeah, get involved.
Sugar.
Do I get advantage because I'm hiding?
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. That is a 23.
That hits.
Right. That's not great. Well,
No.
I get sneak attack damage. Right.
Yep.
Good. 1, 6, 12,
13.
13, 16, and I've got one more.
Yep, and this level is 5.
What was that? 16, 18,
18.
19, 20, 21, 22, 23.
23 points of damage.
Yes.
You watch as your arrow flies into the swarm, and it makes its way through, and it sort of glances off the side of this one, and it glances off the side of that one. You see that you do damage, but it doesn't seem quite as powerful or as effective as you were hoping.
Oh no. How far away is Darren?
Don't you dare use him as a shield. not my beautiful Darren.
From where you are, you reckon that both Darren and Brother Jurgen are probably 15, 20 feet away from you.
Okay. run and get him and bring him back to my hiding place? Because I don't think he'll do well in this situation.
He's bigger than you are, and
Yeah,
your
I'm not gonna
hiding
carry
place
him.
is not huge. So you might be able to sort of pull him back to where you are, but the two of you can't necessarily hide behind the same rock.
Can I hide him behind a different rock? He needs to be in a place of
128.
safety.
It's going to be 128 people are buried.
Well, sorry, what would you like to do?
Can I push him behind a bigger rock or something?
Yeah, you can sort of grab him. You can grab hold of him, but pushing him would be your action.
Yeah.
So you can grab hold of him. At this point, the warden appears beside you. He sort of leapt over the thing and didn't see where he went, but the warden appears beside you, and he looks at all of you, and he went, "I said run!" And he just disappears off towards the plains.
He didn't say run, he said fly. Okay.
That's what happens when you challenge Ian McKellen. All right.
Yes. As he is running, you see him he's just pegging it. He's just fleeing, and you notice that he starts to veer as he's running, and there's another herd of large, stupid dinosaurs nearby, and it looks like he's running into and towards that particular pack. Galbert, it's your turn.
So give me an idea of spatial awareness right now. There's a swarm flying towards us that's pretty much on top of us now.
Yeah, it's sort of about half the swarm at the moment is bearing down on you. The rest of it are still sort of circling around the corpse of the dead dinosaur and picking at it and sort of snatching the last bits.
Are there any around my feet?
Yeah. Some of them are around your coming along the ground. The rest of them are just floating ominously through the air towards you.
Okay, so I'm gonna get my quarterstaff and I'm gonna hold it up in the air in this. Whatever ones are flying around me, I'm just going to try and helicopter with both of my attacks.
Okay, yeah.
First one's an 18 to hit,
That hits.
and the second one would be a 25 to hit.
Both of them hit.
The damage for the first strike is plus 5 is 8 bludgeoning damage, and the damage for the second attack is 12 bludgeoning damage.
Your staff smacks into them. A couple of them fall prone, lifeless on the ground. But same as Noggin, you get the sense that the damage that you have dealt them is not quite as powerful as you thought it was going to be.
Oh, great. Then
Roll an insight check, because you're pretty good at things and
I'm pretty good at things, guys.
being hit by things and hitting things.
What's my push? 19.
Yeah, you're pretty certain that these are resistant to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing.
Just straight up.
Yeah.
Even though my weapon's magical.
I don't. Yeah, you need to tell me that. You need to-
All of our weapons are
No, they're not. They're +1 weapons. They're not magical weapons unless they've been given specific magical properties. Yeah.
When have we
Yeah.
been playing that rule?
That's what it says in the document. It just
Oh,
says they're
okay.
+1. We can check that if you want, Chloe.
I'll check. So it's on the Google Drive.
I believe so.
You just break the game. Is that what's
No.
This is when DMs argue mechanics, but I'm gonna.
Remember when it's for you? Let me go remember.
Stay tuned, everyone. This is fine.
I can't remember.
Let's just roll with it.
Yeah.
Okay. But my feet are magical because of my monk ability. It says so.
Okay.
So my first attack is going to be. I'm just going to start stomping these things.
Fine.
That's a 13 to hit.
Does not hit. You stomp down and it moves out of the way and starts to fly
Okay.
up around your leg.
I am going to then use a flurry of blows to stomp again. Ah, much better. That's a 26 to hit.
That hits.
That's 9 bludgeoning damage from my magical toes.
Use your twinkly toes, twinkle toes.
Yeah, you stomp down on one. You catch 2 of them. They squish beneath your feet. There is a sound of bones cracking. You feel satisfied and happy with your success, and then you look up and see that there's probably about another 350 of them.
Oh, time to leave. And I literally turn and run in the direction the other guy ran in. I know I'm going to evoke an attack of opportunity, but bring it on.
Yeah, you are. Ah,
That's 10.
thank you very much. 19.
That just hits.
Wow. 4 of them. Oh my god.
Sweet babies.
As you run past the swarm,
What the hell?
15, 18, 24, 28, 33 points of piercing damage as they swarm around and snap at your heels and your legs and your thighs.
Ouch.
Yeah. Ouch.
I just run, just straight run. Don't stand around.
Yeah, that is the end of Galbert's turn. The warden continues to leg it. Darren, stood beside you,
Run, Darren, run.
and seeing Galbert flee, just runs and runs. He spends his movement, he spends his action running. He just flees. Like, if he could, his arms would be behind his head. Yeah, he runs off after the warden, with them sort of closely following behind him. Brother Jürgen, it is your turn.
Right, the swarm. Got a plan. I got a plan. Here it goes. It might be a bad idea, but here we're going to do it anyway. The swarm. How wide across would you say the swarm is? Would you say that it's about 20 feet across?
The majority of it falls within 20 feet of
Okay.
you, yeah.
And would you say they are lower than 40 feet in the air? They're quite close to the ground reasonably?
Yeah.
So that's right in front of me?
A couple of them are still up in
Nuclear,
the top
baby.
air, but yeah, the majority.
I know what you're planning. And well played, sir. Well played.
I've got to protect my crewmates. I've got to protect my beautiful Darren.
Yeah.
So I'm going to cast Flame Strike, and I'm going to incinerate these bastards.
Okay. What
Okay.
is, first of all, explain to me what happens when you cast your spell.
Flame Strike, okay.
Mechanically,
okay,
then explain
Okay, all right. So Flame Strike
what
is
happens in the world.
a vertical column of divine fire roars down from the heavens in a location you specify, which will be right fucking in front of me, where these guys are coming right at. Maybe not right in front of me, so I'm outside the area of casting.
Yeah, understood.
Each creature in a 10-foot radius, so 20 foot across, a 40-foot high cylinder sitting on a point within range must make a dexterity saving throw. A creature takes 4d6 of fire damage and 4d6 radiant damage on a failed save, or half as much damage on a successful one.
Okay.
So, that's the logistics of it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna grab my staff. I've told Darren to run. I've told them they're all running behind me. They're getting out of the way. I grab my staff, I slam it into the ground, and coming out from the ground is this ripple as the ground in front of me starts to crack and break as this purple energy ripples out in front of me. And just as the cloud are on me, this huge giant burst of purple flame erupts from the ground and engulfs the oncoming swarm.
And they have to roll a dexterity saving
They have to
throw.
roll a dexterity. 16 or higher.
They roll exactly 16.
Oh, does that mean they win, or do I win?
It means they pass.
Oh, god damn it. Well,
So they take half this damage.
half damage. Okay, so somebody count, right? Keep count. Right, here we go. All right. 5.
8,
8. 6.
14,
3.
17.
6.
That's the fire damage.
5.
6, 20,
1.
21,
1.
22.
And 5.
27 points of damage.
Yeah.
You see this purple flame explode out of the ground. It doesn't hit the whole swarm, but it does engulf part of it, and you see as these tiny bits of flame and rock bash up from the floor, and they fly and they destroy and they smash and they bang and they hit and they hit loads of targets. The swarm takes damage, but as you look at it, you think it's probably been reduced by about 10% of its size.
Right, okay. And then I suppose that I've given my group cover, and I will use my movement and my bonus action to peg it.
To run. That would bring us back to the top of the round. Noggin.
Right.
Swarm, isn't it?
Noggin. Do you want to die?
Nope, not at all.
Well, since everyone else has run away, I'm also going to run away. Run. Do I have to disengage first then? I don't want an opportunity attack. Cunning action. Disengage.
Yep.
Then run.
Wonderful.
Movement, action, run.
You are all running. The swarm, or at least half the swarm, let's say, follows after you. As you are running, I would like you all to roll a dexterity saving throw.
Not dexterous. 11.
21.
Oh,
That's a 23.
The swarm continues. As you are running, Jurgen, you feel the snapping at your heels behind you. And 4 or 5 of these small creatures leap up, their tiny little claws digging into the back of your back and your thighs as you're running along.
this is why you don't run in sandals, everyone.
They are going to attack you.
Of course they are.
The highest there is a 18.
20.
So they attempt to bite you and snap at you. You get the sense that they are very much the forerunners, and you're going to need to keep running pretty fast to outpace them. The rest of you staying just ahead of the swarm. Which way are you heading? Where are you? What's the direction you're heading in?
I think we're heading the same way as the guy.
Yeah.
Following
Into
after the
Yeah.
warden.
Into the herd of stupid-looking dinosaurs.
Yeah. Cool. As you do so, you run and you run and you run, and you find yourself now within this herd. At first, they're still and silent, and then you hear the sounds of panic and danger, and they start to move, and they start to run, and there is this heavy footfall and pounding on the ground as they start to get up speed. You are running within this pack at the moment. You are no longer really aware of the swarm of tiny dinosaurs around you, but the level of panic and danger and worry within this swarm, within this herd as it careens along the ground, makes you think that you're not alone, that everyone is being now pursued by this giant swarm.
Can I jump on one of the cow things?
Yeah, roll me an acrobatics check.
Are they faster though? I mean, is that...
I think they're very small and the little legs. It didn't roll very well. That's an 11.
You try, but there's not a huge amount to grasp hold of, and you're moving at quite a pace. As you try to grab up, you find you slip a little bit. You land, you keep your footing. You've got to keep running. If you wanted to stop and try and leg, other flavors of elf are available. Legolas your way up onto one of them. I'll let you do it, but you will have to stop running in order to do that.
I'll try.
Okay. Roll one more time. Same thing.
I still think they're going to be faster than me. Right, okay, that is a 18.
Yeah, as you stop and you feel one of these large beasts come towards you, you reach your hand up and you sort of swing your way up onto its back. I need you to roll me a perception check. I need you two to roll me a perception check as well.
Critical success.
19.
Also 19.
Wonderful.
No, 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 no,
The
no,
two
no.
of you, as you are running along within this stampeding herd of great feet, most of which are sort of, I mean, a lot of the legs are the same size as Brother Jurgen. You, Galbert, you are tiny in comparison to these. You both spot through the legs and through it, you see the warden in the centre of it, and as he's there, you see that he sort of breaks out of the herd and makes a dash. And you can see him disappearing off to the right-hand side. And beyond you, you're aware of water and the rush of a stream. On the back of the hadrosaur, you look back and you see the whole swarm is now following after this entire herd and this entire pack. They're sort of coming in and strafing at the sides of the ones on the edge, the older, slower members of the pack. They nip and bite at the sides of their legs. One of them falls back and starts to limp along, and you see for the second time this swarm just engulf it, and it stops for maybe 2 or 3 minutes whilst the thing continues to run, and around it, snapping, biting. You hear the bellowing and the roars of pain and anguish, and then the swarm parts again, and same as before, corpse, bone, bits of viscera and blood, and the swarm continues after the herd. From your vantage point, you see the warden break out of the running herd. It's now running along the side of the riverbank, making its way off towards the left-hand side as you were looking out over the plain. He dives for cover behind a huge rock boulder that's just sat right on the edge of the riverside, and he disappears behind it. You two, you saw him disappear. What do? You saw him break out of the herd.
I guess follow him.
The rock.
Yeah.
You both follow him. What would you like to do, Noggin? You are currently riding one of these dinosaurs.
How far away is the river?
It's the whole herd has turned. It's running along the side of it. I reckon from where you are, you're sat roughly in the middle of it. It's probably sort of 30, 40 feet from the back of the dinosaur to the river itself.
How deep is the river?
Roll me a perception check.
That is 19?
Looks pretty deep.
Right. Could I, on the backs of these things, run and jump and dive into the river?
Yes. Roll me a athletics or acrobatics, whichever you would
I love
prefer.
that.
Definitely acrobatics.
I have, what is this? I got a jumpy thing as well. Where's that? Running jump increases by the dex modifier.
Yeah,
in
and
feet.
in order to get that, it means you have to run into the jump. You're
Yeah.
currently stood
No, just
on the
jump.
back, so you're going to have to jump from one to the other.
Okay.
What I will allow, I need you to roll me an acrobatics check to sort of leap from beast to beast, and then I'll allow you to have that for your dive into the water.
Come on.
Yeah.
That is a 19.
Yeah, you jump, you leap, bounce, bounce, bounce off the backs. You land right on the edge of the final one, right beside the water. I need you to roll with the special, whatever it gains you thing.
It increases
It
her
just increases
jumping
how far I
distance, so she can now jump 22 feet.
Yeah. You can just sail and a dive. Just roll me one final acrobatics check.
15.
You execute this pitch point, perfect dive. Both of you see as Noggin just appears over the top of the boulder and just into the water beyond. And you hear the sound of the herd continuing.
Pull that small board and write down 9.5.
And that's where we're going to hold this hour. Thank you.
Thank you for coming, everyone. Thank you for watching on the live stream. Just a reminder, we are doing this from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. every day at Fringe, apart from the 24th and the 25th. We're also live streaming it on twitch.tv
Currently
Adventures
or
Wanted.
total?
And we are also live tweeting it at Adventures 50. I'm now going to just throw to Ian, who has a show to plug.
Hello, yes, I am in a comedy panel game show called Imaginary Porno Charades, which is a game that sounds exactly as it sounds. It's a bunch of people playing charades with dirty made-up titles to films. It's fantastic fun. Lots of people from all across the festival. Every night we're on at 11 p.m. at Sweetgrass Market. Please come. Tell your friend, tell your family, tell your mum. I don't care. Fantastic. Thank you.
Cool. I'm also going to quickly plug Morales High Since We Gave Up Hope, which is by the awesome people at Powder Cake. It is at 10:15 at Somerville, so go see that. We've now got a quick turnaround, so it's just that door you came in. Thank you very much for joining us.
Yay. Round of
See you in a
applause.
bit, stream.
Bye. Bye, everyone on the internet.
Oh my goodness.